It's the second coming to EFN. Two sides of feats are determined who wins, who sinks or swims, breaks or bends. Entertainment fight night, we at it again.
Hello, this is War with Words, and I bring to you Season 2 of EFN Entertainment Fight Night. Today I present to you Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch, of the Fantastic Four, versus Bobby Drake, aka Iceman, of the X-Men. Now this first video will be the feats for the Human Torch, while the second video will be the feats for Iceman, and the third video will determine who the winner is. Now let's begin. First, for Human Torch, here he is destroying an asteroid the size of Manhattan in one shot, though it does tire him out. Here he shows that he can have Nova level, as in his highest form of heat, fireballs, and again a Nova level blast. Here he burns through thousands of leagues of rock and ground in a few seconds. He shows a huge fireball, showing how big of an area he can cover in one attack. He blows up an underwater volcano, showing that water doesn't affect him too much, and the size of what he can affect. He's hot enough to turn sand to glass. He blows up a cube of adamantium using fire more than just force. He makes a mountain explode. He blasts back the Hulk. He does it again with Greyhawk. He lets forth a miles-wide fireball that consumes all oxygen and stops a flame elemental. Here it shows that bullets melt when they hit him, showing how hot he is just passively. He vaporizes some water, more specifically Hydro Man, again showing that water doesn't affect him and just how hot he is naturally. He melts Ronin's universal weapon, which is a very powerful piece of technology. Very advanced, so it shows just how hot he can get again. He can blast back Namor, who's very durable, usually fights with the likes of Hulk and Thor and such. His fire here is described as similar to a nuclear blast. He raises his heat from absolute zero, which is very important in this fight, because that's basically the limit of any code manipulator like Iceman. And here he shows he can overcome it. He blasts Silver Surfer off his board. He doesn't hurt him, but it does show the force he can blast with. He burns all the oxygen out of a city, and again shows how much area he can affect and how large his fireball is. He beats Dragon Man with a form of sunstroke, hitting him with a beam or a blast that basically emulates being in a desert for a long time in just an instant. He destroys some of Annihilus's bugs. For reference, the Annihilus wave was taking over the galaxy or possibly even the universe at one point. A Nova Blast destroys more of Annihilus's bugs. And again, here's an AoE of his Nova destroying Annihilus's bugs and hurting Annihilus. Here he sets a planet-sized object on fire, showing his range, area, and power. For control, he basically has immense heat, yet no one else in the room feels it due to what he's doing, showing that he can pinpoint his heat if he wants to. He sucks the moisture out of the air and then does it to She-Hulk to defeat her, which is important because obviously Iceman is based on moisture since he's ice and water and mist and so on. Here he shows a heat mirage, which is like an illusion of sorts, and it even fools Dr. Doom. Here he shows like a flashbang, a bright flash of light to blind opponents. Here he can make duplicates of himself to fight from multiple sides. He somehow makes a flaming probe device that works underwater of all things to find Namor. He knocks a person out with pure heat waves. He turns Hydro Man into steam, and on the opposite end turns him into ice. He can track heat signatures even if they're invisible. And again, using heat waves to show or to pinpoint invisible people. He can make a smoke attack, a smoke screen from his body. He freezes a room and eventually a roof by absorbing the heat. He sucks the energy out of a villain, which again might be useful for trying to knock out Iceman more peacefully. He absorbs re-entry heat. He freezes graviton by absorbing his heat. He manages to stay on fire underwater, again showing that water doesn't really affect him like that. For speed, he dodges some bullets, dodges more bullets, dodges a laser, more lasers, an energy blast, a barrage of lasers, even more lasers, shows Mach 1 speed, makes a tornado with pure speed just by flying around. He's too fast for military guns to track, dodges Cyclops' blast, acts at the speed of thought, supposedly, dodges Zeta rays, avoids an ice barrier, and again shows a smoke screen ability, easily outspeeds missiles, which can range from subsonic to very supersonic and even hypersonic. For durability, he takes a punch from Annihilus, who's usually around Hulk level in strength, at very least above Thing. Takes a punch from Namor, who again is Hulk level, sometimes Thor level. Takes a hit from Dragon Man, who is someone who fights Thor a lot. Takes a hit from Skrull X using Thing's strength, Thing being an 80-tonner, someone who tussles with She-Hulk, Hulk, and so on, is mid-tier. Takes a hit from Gladiator, who's actually a planet buster, and on Thor and Hulk level, if not above it in some ways. Takes a hit from some Earth from Terrax with the power cosmic, Terrax being a herald of Galactus, so it's obviously powerful. He does it again. He takes a hit from Super Skrull using Thing's strength. He trades hits with Namor again. For some energy durability, he takes Iron Man's repulsor rays, takes a blast from Annihilus, takes a blast from Oculus, whose blasts usually destroy mountain peaks with one hit, takes a blast from Blastar, who's very powerful, takes a blast from Firelord, who is a herald of Galactus and using the power cosmic. Another herald he takes a blast from here is Nova. And then here it shows he's resistant against cold, as he's basically out in the ice with nothing on. He faces the evil or fake X-Men, dodges Cyclops blast, dodges Storm hand lightning, and defeats him with an AoE fire blast, which is likely how he'll do Iceman. And finally, he takes down Ultron by going full Nova. So overall, Human Torch has a great amount of power, destroying asteroids and mountains and such, hurting Hulk and Namor and so on. He has the durability to take any kind of attack from Iceman, again, taking blasts from Iron Man, Annihilus, hits from Namor, Gladiator, and so on. He's fast enough to dodge most moves that Iceman will use, dodging bullets and lasers and such. And his heat level gets to nuclear and above, and even Nova level, where it can hurt the likes of Ultron. Plus, he can suck moisture out of the room, and he can control his heat to even freeze people, and so on. It has a lot of AoE. So overall, he's going to be Iceman by basically fighting him normally, and then once he beats him, sucking the moisture out of the surrounding area, so the Iceman either stays KO'd, or basically disintegrated or vaporized. And that's my analysis. If you want to see more, check out the site at warwithwords.com. Follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to the channel below. And if you like action, comic book type literature, check out my books, Blade Forge in Darkness, and He Who Leads on Amazon.com. Thank you.